against a Protoss player who actually made a bunch of gateways after the cheese instead of countering that with a DT or another hidden Reaver. So very unusual.
You know, this is actually really interesting here because LX was playing a great game. He caught that dropship, and he knows that that is going to hurt Super so much.
Right.
So he instantly throws up that third Nexus over on the right-hand side of the map. So he's going to just abuse Super for losing that dropship, knowing that he just cannot have enough units to do any damage right now.
That's exactly what you got to do if you're a good Protoss player. You have to know how to punish the Terran every time they make a mistake, and that's what he's going to do here. Right now, Super is just going to push out. He says, okay, I got to get rid of this gateway. I have to get some ground here. And unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to be enough ground. We got to see, is Super going to get another dropship here? Because if he gets another dropship and loses that dropship, it's really going to be over. If he gets another dropship and starts harassing one of these expansions, taking out a lot of probes, and bear in mind, it might be tough for LX to defend 3 locations at once when you lose one gateway early on. Then maybe things will seesaw back into Super's favor. But right now, Super in a very, very uncomfortable place.
Yeah, you know, LX, he's defending everything very well. As you see, those 3 Dragoons behind his mineral line. He's got basically the whole side of the map, the entire way across the map, he has vision, basically. So, you know, it's going to be hard for Super to sneak any more dropships in. And, you know, I think he's got to kind of know that. You know, he knows there's observers out. He knows there's an expansion over there. He knows that LX obviously realizes that there are dropship tech in play. So I can't see him doing much more damage with a dropship this game. And, you know, it costs so much that hopefully he won't make it if he wants to come back.
Okay, I think this is the one position Super could have attacked. And unfortunately, we don't see any Spider Mines getting a single probe here. Of course, they would have actually been targeting the Dragoon, but probes can be a casualty in that. There's the Panda Bear guy. We haven't seen much of him in this game. But right now, Legendary's defense very good. I actually thought that was going to do more damage than it did.
Yeah, he really pulled back quite excellently there. You know, that could have been a probe slaughter if those Dragoons were not microed back properly.
Right.
And so LX, you know, he's showing very good strategical play. He pulls back his units, pulls back his probes, goes about it slowly. He knows that he has the economical advantage at this point, and he is not pressing forward too hard.
What are your thoughts about this Wraith we just spotted? I'm kind of surprised at getting a Wraith at this phase of the game. It seems pretty obvious that Protoss is probably not going to go for a shuttle early on, but still, what do you think? Is he going to use that for scouting? He does have scan already.
Yeah, it would be kind of pointless because we see LX does not have map control at this point. And, you know, Speed Vultures, even against map control, you can scout enough, especially when you have those calm stats, as you pointed out.
Right.
So I don't see the Wraith as being good at all. You know, I guess if he just doesn't want to make any turrets and he's getting scared of perhaps a Reaver, it could be an alright choice.
Yeah, maybe he's going to just use that to defend against the possibility of a Reaver. Maybe that way he can get a few more factories up and then do an earlier timing push, saving his scans for the possibility of any DTs, or at least scanning to see what position his opponent's army's in. I don't know, though.
Yeah, and we see that. That was actually a nice little harasser. You know, he traded several Vultures for, you know, about 4 Dragoons and all the probes that expansion, albeit not many probes. But still, you know, that's the type of thing that he needs to do. He's keeping the economy very slow for LX. You know, he has these 3 bases for a while now, but he stopped the mining time in the natural for a bit, as we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Now he's killed some probes and stopped mining time on the right-hand expansion, the 3rd base. So this is really giving him a chance to catch right back up into the game. And we see that he's actually going to push out into a kind of funny siege line here. And there is a shuttle for LX right now. Let's see if that Wraith does come into play. And I do not like this siege line at all. He is right up against a wall, and there is really nowhere for him to micro back to. So if LX smashes into this with Speed Zelts and Dragoons, you know, there's not going to be much that Super can do about it.
Oh, this shuttle is going to clean this up. What were you doing, Wraith? The Wraith is at home taking a nap right now, and this is not what he needs to be doing. Dragoons are going to move in here. If he can get a good Zealot bomb here, it could really hurt, and there was one already.
And that Wraith does help take out the shuttle, but he is losing all his tanks up against the wall. You know, he could not spread them out enough to be really cost-effective against a mass of Dragoons and Zealots. So he has just lost his army. He has almost no units left, as you see. In the natural, just 1 Vulture. Could LX clean up this game right now?
He could, I think. You know, if he has the observers, there it is, and he goes into the main here, or at least the main expansion, he could really hurt his opponent. And you also have to bear in mind that Terran really this entire time has wanted to just expand to the lower bottom right side of the map. Ouch.
Big spider mine right there, really damaging all the Dragoons. And, you know, the slowness of that observer getting into place really has cost LX on the the effectiveness of this attack.
Right.
If that observer had been
Right.
in the correct place, he would have been in there before the siege tanks were out. But as is, it looks like Super, yeah, he's going to drive off LX here.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Man, LX really in, you know, I think he had a lot more going on for him there. He seems to be kind of struggling in, you know, when it comes to being aggressive and offensive after the first, actually even in the first few minutes of the game, he seems to struggle in that. He seems to know what he's doing, but he can't quite execute it. Whereas in, you know, in the late game, Super seems to be all about it, but he doesn't seem to be quite thinking it through.
Yeah, I got to agree with your analysis there. And, you know, we see that LX, he does have his 3 base up. And I want to know now what his plan is. We see the polar bear guy over there.
Panda bear guy.
Panda bear guy.
It's a panda bear
polar
guy.
bear guy.
No, man, does this look like an ice map to you, man? Do you think polar bears live on this map? No
Listen,
way, man.
there's polar bears in the LA Zoo, so I don't know what you're
All
talking
right.
about.
Well, maybe this one's escaped, okay? But
All right, so anyways, we see, what is his late game plan here? He's not taking a 4th base yet. You know, maybe he's going to go for Arbiter off a 3 base. I'm not too sure, but he's going to have to make a decision pretty quickly here.
this is one of the maps where both carriers and arbiters can be good. I think arbiters are slightly better than carriers, just in my own experience, but carriers are certainly an option, especially if you get ahead. Now, I think Head, he attacked all those tanks and just backed off. Maybe he could tech the carriers, but right now, we've just seen mass gateways, or at least Artosis and I haven't gotten a glimpse of the tech building that we're looking for.
Yeah, and you know what? This is kind of the same thing that LX did last game, when he should be, you know, teching up a little bit more or over-expanding a little bit. Instead, he's just making more and more ground units.
Right.
And, you know, that's a really good way, like an excellent way to kill someone who's a lot worse than you. But when you're playing someone as good as you or better than you, you know, it's not